Today is the 5th day of the 8th month in the 9th year of Channel Group, September 11, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. Chanjin Chang Pumunim ke Pyongbe Baro. Let us recite Family Pledge. Number 1. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to seek our original homeland and build the kingdom of Heavenly Parent on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by centering on true love. 2. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the Heavenly Parent and true parents. We pledge to perfect the beautiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. 3. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships, and realm of the royal family by centering on true love. 4. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. 5. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. 6. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the Heavenly Parent and true parents, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. 7. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges, through living for the sake of others, to perfect a world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. 8. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges, having entered the era of Channel Group, to achieve the ideal of Heavenly Parent and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of Heavenly Parent on earth and in heaven by centering on true love.
For our opening prayer, may I call on Mr. Raul Gamboa.
Let us pray, brothers and sisters. Our dearest Heavenly Parents and our victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Heavenly Parents, we deeply thank you, Heavenly Parents, for this new day, this new life that you have given us. And as we begin with our Hondoke, we want to ask you to be with us and to please guide each one of us, Heavenly Parents. We want to welcome you in our hearts, in our minds, and we want to receive your your love, your message to our national president, Reverend Leo Angelo Halog. Please continue to speak through him, Heavenly Parents, to convey to us your message and your guidance. Heavenly Parents, today also, Saturday, we will be having a Hyojong Chonbo ancestor liberation and blessing. And we pray that we can all participate, Heavenly Parents, to this workshop, Heavenly Parents, through the Chanyang Yoksa. Heavenly Parents, we are so grateful to you and to our two parents for this great blessing and opportunity. Heavenly Parents, we once again ask you to be with us, Heavenly Parents, from beginning to end of our morning devotion. Heavenly Parents, we pray for the good health and safety of every blessed families and brothers and sisters. And once again, we thank you so much for this new day and this new life that you have given us. Once again, we offer our gratitude and appreciation. And I like to offer and I report in our name, Roland Susuyu Gamboa, the Blessed Central Family, Aju.
Aju. Let us all offer our unison prayer. Aju. Thank you so much. Let us have our morning greetings to our heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, our dear heavenly parents and true parents, to all of our leaders, brothers and sisters. Good morning. I would also like to introduce myself. My name is Julie Zacarias, a second generation from Palawan, and I will be your host this morning. To start on for our Hundok reading, may I call on my fellow second generation here, Miss Hannah Tagyab.
Alright. Mother of Peace, a memoir by Hak Jahan Moon. Chapter 11, the restoration of Naan in heaven and on earth. The continuation. After True Father's holy ascension into 2012, I took upon the great responsibility God led me through difficult circumstances and painful trials. I have now completed the 7-year course seeking the restoration of nations to God's embrace. The final 40-day course at the end of 2019 was a path through a wilderness, uncharted in heaven and on earth. My objective was to settle God's kingdom of Chonilguk in the worldwide Canaan. This path of restoration history was completed at the Vision 2020 Global Summit in Korea, February 2020, which was a beacon of hope lit on the eve of a global transformation, giving birth to the heavenly world. Over the decades, I have kept a particular photograph close to my heart. When I close my eyes, I can clearly see it. It is of a woman with a little girl on her back, holding the Korean flag. It was taken in the market of Anju, my hometown. The woman's face is flushed with desperation, and it looks as if she wants to grab onto someone and plead her difficult situation. The image is of my maternal grandmother, Jo Won-mo, carrying her daughter, my mother Hong Sun-e, on her back, as she took part in the independence movement on the first day of March 1919. My maternal uncle used to tell me stories as we looked at that photo. Unfortunately, we did not bring it with us when we fled the north. It is probably safe somewhere in my hometown. And there was a very similar photograph of Grandmother Jo waving the Korean flag. But this one was taken August 15, 1945. And in that photo, it is me she is carrying on her back. This time, her face is filled with joy, and she looks ready to embrace everyone she meets. Her expression in those two photos contrasts the sorrow of losing one's nation with the joy of gaining it back. Our sorrow over having lost God's world is soon to transform into the joy of gaining it back. From the moment I could understand speech, my maternal grandmother told me, God is your father. Her words formed the core of my faith. They set me on the course I had to walk. My husband, Father Sun Myung Moon, and I have lived our whole lives for the liberation of God's homeland. We have nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to hide. I have never looked back, nor to the left or to the right. I have only looked at the path ahead. I never became attached to my circumstances, night or day. There has never been a moment that I did not keep Heavenly Parent with me. In the Kremlin, we said to the leaders that they should remove the statues of Lenin and accept God. In the presidential residence in North Korea, we spoke out. On that foundation, President Mikhail Gorbachev and Chairman Kim Il-sung opened their hearts. We never wavered for the sake of the liberation of God's homeland. Whenever a crisis arose, Heavenly Parent guided us with pillars of fire and cloud. September 15, 2012, Holy Soa ceremony for Father Moon who ascended. September 3 at the age of 93. Some 250,000 people from around the world came to pay their respects. Standing before True Father's holy body in 2012, I promised in tears, by the end of my days, I will absolutely bring about the settlement of Cholingguk on this earth. Whenever the opportunity arises, I repeat these words. After True Father's ascension, I set forth like a female Don Quixote, spreading our teachings and embracing the world. I have lived every day with my promise to Father Moon in mind. February 22, 2013. Mother Moon proclaiming the coming of God's kingdom at Cholingguk in the Peace World Center, HJ, Chonwon, South Korea. The Republic of Korea did not honor True Father at his Songhwa ceremony. That is why I publicly committed to restore 7 nations by 2020 and opened the new Cholingguk as a gift to True Father. With that accomplished, the providential opportunity has returned to Korea, the call of the Pacific Hyojong culture of giving and giving again. must take root and show visible fruit in this nation. This door will not remain open forever. In 2018, on New Year's Eve, members from all over Korea gathered at Cheongshim Peace World Center to pray for the settlement of the era of a unified heavenly Korea. From the evening until the small hours in the morning of the new year, 2019, we beseech God in tears to restore the Korean nation and liberate our heavenly parents' homeland. The winter and spring, I addressed 5 rallies of hope. In South Korea, in Seoul, 100,000 people attended. We promoted the unification of North and South Korea under the theme, Inherit Heavenly Fortune, Bring National Unity. We also held a rally in honor of the United Nations troops that came to Korea's aid during the Korean War. In Cheongjeong province, our rally was themed the 100th anniversary of the March First Movement and the Movement for Peace between Korea and Japan. In Gyeongsang province, we held a rally for town and community leaders. And in Honam region, the rally theme was New Life centering on True Mother and Settlement of Era of Pacific Civilization. In Ganglin County, there were villages that had not heard the cries of new babies for many years. It is like that in all farming areas in Korea, because young women have moved to the cities. We held the Gangjin County Rally of Hope for Childbirth and True Families, and conducted the blessing ceremony in this village. The whole of Gangjin County was filled with festive atmosphere. I sent holy robes that I had treasured as a gift to a slightly older couple that had been one of the representative couples during one of the blessing ceremonies. I received a note of thanks after wearing the robes. They had given birth to twins. Amazingly, 3 couples that attended those blessing ceremonies gave birth to twins. In addition, as if caught up in the spirit, a local farmer's cow gave birth to twin calves. The governor of the area sent a video of himself bowing to express his thanks. He said that Korea is on a demographic cliff. There have been too few marriages and births, and now the workforce is shrinking. He said that the Family Federation's blessing ceremony is the path of true patriotism, for only it can save the nation. Sometimes I ask myself, what will save the world for the sake of our heavenly parent? Korea is not alone on the demographic cliff. Japan, China, Europe, Russia, the birth rate is in decline in many countries. The only solution is to bring joy through the blessing of marriages in harmony with Heavenly Parent. The blessing will bring peace within ourselves, within our families and communities, nation and world, heaven and earth, Heavenly Parent's holy community. 100 years ago, for the liberation of her homeland, my maternal grandmother waved the Korean flag that she had hidden in her bosom. Now, for the liberation of our global family's homeland, we must raise the Heavenly Parent flag that we have hidden in our bosom, just like her. We must passionately live for God's kingdom of Chonilpo. The dawn of a new history is growing brighter through the manifestation of the only begotten daughter in the providence of restoration. Humanity has new hope. We are completing heaven's providence, reaching our global village with the message of Mother of Peace. Vision 2020 brought us to the mountaintop. Now let us greet the rising sun with all our hearts. Let us advance together into the bright, new, hopeful era of settlement of God's kingdom. Chon Ilpo. Aju.
Yes, Ju. Let's give a big round of applause to our heavenly parents and true parents for these amazing words. And thank you also to Sister Hannah for your wonderful reading. Next, let's now listen to the 10 points of gratitude that will be given by our youth here in Palawan, Miss Loren Moreno. Please give her a round of applause.
Good morning, heavenly parents and spiritual parents. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Allow me to share my 10 points of gratitude. First, I'm thankful and grateful for the good health that is given to every one of us every day. Second, I'm thankful and grateful for the hard work of everyone. Number 3, I'm thankful and grateful for waking up every day to continue our responsibilities and tasks to do. Number 4, I'm thankful and grateful for all the blessings that is given to us by our Heavenly Parent. Number 5, I'm thankful and grateful for the guidance every day that we've received. Number 6, I'm thankful and grateful for all the things that I have learned every day. Number 7, I'm thankful and grateful for the chance to having understand the DP lecture more deeply. Number 8, I'm thankful and grateful for all of the frontliners doing their hard work in serving our country. Number 9, I'm thankful and grateful for the supports of my ancestors. Number 10, I'm thankful and grateful for the guidance of our leaders here in Palawan po. That's all po. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Loren, for your artistic and sincere 10 points of gratitude. We are also very grateful and thankful for your hard work din po. Let's give her a big round of applause. Now, to render us for an offering song this morning, let us welcome Mr. Ricky Carias, a youth here also in Palawan. Let's give him a big round of applause.
You place gold on my finger. You brought love like I've never known. You gave life to our children and to me a reason to go on. You're my bread when I'm hungry. You're my shelter from troubled winds. You're my anchor in life's ocean. But most of all, you're my best friend. When I need hope and inspiration, you're always strong when I'm tired and weak. I could search this whole world over, you'll still be everything that I need. You're my bread when I'm hungry. You're my shelter from troubled winds. You're my anchor in life's ocean. But most of all, you're my best friend. You're my bread when I'm hungry. You're my shelter from troubled winds. You're my anchor in life's ocean. But most of all,
Wow, thank you so much, Brother Ricky, for that amazing offering song and your wonderful voice. God, our heavenly parents, is surely always by our side and our forever best friend in our journey in our life of faith. We are now at the most awaited part of this morning devotion. To give us our spiritual guidance and inspiration, please help me to welcome our amazing and very hardworking national leader, Reverend Leo Angelotti Halog. Let's give him a virtual applause.
Thank you very much, our second generation, our sister Julissa, for being the host today, for being the moderator. I would like to greet our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Good morning, our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. All our beloved leaders who are joining us today, all Chonpo families, the Central families, and brothers and sisters. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Morning po. So today is again rainy morning. So we need to be always be careful and take care of our health, especially during this time. And so today po, we will going to have the Chonbo HJ Chonbo event, and we will be doing this online. I would like to really encourage all our plus families, all members to participate, please join, please register, because now also you can do the Chanyang Nyoksa session in your own in your own homes. Not only clapping, but also you can hit the different parts of your body, but just your own self. Do not do to others. So this is very good condition for all of us. Before, people needs to go to Korea to do Chanyang Yoksa session, but now True Parents, expand to all continents. We have now Chonbo branches, and then because of this pandemic also, now it can be done online. So this is truly great blessing. So whenever we do the Chanyang Yoksa session, then we eliminate evil spirits in our body. So we really need this, especially during this time. So I really encourage all our members, all brothers and sisters, to register. Until 10 a.m. today, you can register. You can do online registration. So you can, if you don't know, you can refer to your regional leaders, and then they can assist you. So let's join together this afternoon at 2 p.m. And also, not only that, the speeches that is being shared by especially also President Kim is very inspiring. Really, he's preparing well. So let's do our best to attend Heavenly Parents and True Parents this afternoon through this HJ Chonbo event. So please do not miss this. Please join. I would like to share today. So I'm still in book 8 of Chan Song-gyong. So I'm going to continue. Today I'll be talking about this topic, the path to becoming a victor. So let's study together True Parents' words. True Father said, neither God nor human beings have been able to fulfill His will. So neither God nor human beings have been able to fulfill His will, yet history moves on. It is not because of God that His will remains unfulfilled. It is because of human beings. In other words, the failure to fulfill His will came because of the fall of Adam and Eve. Therefore, the process of history, as well as the course of the providence until now, has been the attempt to reverse this failure in God's will. To bring His will to fruition, a person capable of realizing God's will is needed. So, today True Father is talking about, the God's will that until this time has not been fulfilled yet. So it is not because of God, Father said, it is because of human beings. Because we know that Heavenly Parent completely fulfilled, His part, but God's will can only be accomplished if God's portion of responsibility and human's portion of responsibility is both accomplished. That is the fulfillment of God's will. So if only God fulfilled his responsibility and human beings are not, then God's will cannot be realized. So Father said it is unfulfilled. It is because of human beings. So because of the failure, because of the fall of Adam and Eve. So therefore, the process of history, as well as the course of the providence until now, has been the attempt to reverse this failure in God's will. So to bring his will to fruition, a person capable of realizing God's will is needed. So in order for this, for the will of God to be realized, first it will start to, a person who is capable of realizing God's will is needed. That's why Jesus came, and then because of also the failure, he promised to come again. That's why true parents came, right? So the person, most important, that person is absolutely needed. The person capable of realizing God's will. So that's why true parents, and then true parents already accomplished their responsibility actually. But it's not only true parents, it should be all humanity, right? That's why true parents, they're the starting point. Kaya tayo as the central families, Chonbo families, people who knows the will of God, who knows true parents, who have received the blessing. Now this is actually the era where we have to fulfill our responsibility. It's now our responsibility. True parents have accomplished their responsibility, but it's not complete yet until humanity fulfills their responsibility. Until all of us. That's why this is the fulfillment of the will of God. That's why True Mother this time determined in her lifetime. She wanted to complete everything. She wanted to complete the will of God, right? Before going to the spiritual world. That's why setting up everything, right? True Mother really determined, but really the situation is not so easy. Mother said, that's why at least minimum 1/3 of, humanity needs to fulfill their responsibility. So it's really not easy, this course of thousands of years. It's really not easy, but everything really depends on humanity already. Heavenly Parent have accomplished his will. Even true parents now have accomplished. It's now us, the believers, right? So no matter what, we cannot prolong this anymore. Laging sinasabi ni True Mother na God, Heavenly Parent cannot wait any longer. How serious True Mother is telling us every time. Heavenly Parents have waited already for a long time, for thousands of years, right? So that's why we have to remember that we are in that position now. We are the ones, Heavenly Parents is waiting to accomplish, our will, and then advance and really spread. Let all the people know, encourage all people to fulfill the responsibility. As you, so we are standing in that position. Father said, God has worked to raise people capable of upholding his will. So God has worked through long historical eras to raise people capable of upholding his will. There was Adam's family, Noah's family, Abraham's family, Jacob's family, and so on. If and when such historical families had failed in their responsibility to establish a relationship between heaven and earth, humankind would have lost track even of the direction necessary to accomplish God's will. We have learned these truths through the course of the providence. So after the fall, how much Heavenly Parent, have worked from that time? So how long already our Heavenly Parent have been working? So immediately after Adam and Eve. So God called, or even, in the family of Adam, their family themselves, Heavenly Parent have worked through their children, through Adam and Eve's children, Cain and Abel. But also Cain and Abel failed. And then also God called Noah, Abraham, Jacob. Of course, Jacob, brought victory. But still after Jacob, again, another failure. The providence has prolonged and prolonged and prolonged. So we have learned this in the history, Father said. So we have learned this truth. Right, through the course of the providence, we could learn how much Heavenly Parents have toiled and really have worked so hard, right, to reverse everything and really fulfill God's will. But that's why we could learn that it's always humanity's failure. It's always, the person that is called. If they, will going to fail in the responsibility, Father said that if they fail in the responsibility to establish a relationship between heaven and earth, humankind would have lost track even of the direction necessary to accomplish God's will. That's why, everything was prolonged. Even through parents when they are coming, the Christians were prepared also by Heavenly Parent for thousands of years, right? But also these people, that was prepared, they couldn't receive true parents. True parents needs to, suffer and really pay all indemnity necessary, unimaginable suffering. People who have been called, if they will not fulfill the responsibility, the providence continuously will be prolonged. But Heavenly Parents have waited. But when true parents came, really true parents accomplished their responsibility. That's why we are truly lucky people. We are grateful that we could live in this time. No matter what, we have to accomplish our responsibility, as what True Father is telling us today. We have to be victors, right? So we have learned this. So we learn these things in order for us to avoid and really become victorious in our course, in our mission, right? So that's why we have to, when we are learning history, especially the story of all the people whom God called, we have to put our feet to their shoes, right? That in order for us to avoid, also the same course we are going through, this is not only their course, but as we learn for these people who came before us, then we can avoid their failures. And then we can accomplish our responsibility, and then we can become victorious. Aju, this is the most important. Why we are learning, their life course, their life story of these people whom God called. So this is important, Father said. When we look at the Unification Church today, we wonder, will the Unification Church accomplish God's will or not? There are two types of will, one for the individual and one for the whole. If no one is capable of handling God's will for the individual and his will for the whole, God's will cannot be realized. Even if the time has come for God's will to be completed, if the responsible person fails to fulfill his or her responsibility, the opportunity given to realize God's will be lost. The realization of God's will absolutely requires the appropriate person. After that, the time becomes the problem. Always what we call time becomes the problem. In addition to the time and the person, the condition to accomplish the will is absolutely necessary. So this is important, question. Even Father himself, will the Unification Church will accomplish God's will or not? So even though true parents were called, it's not automatic that true parents came, that the will be accomplished. Also, true parents have fought tremendous battles. We cannot imagine, we cannot explain, we cannot fully understand the course that true parents have gone through. Meaning, true parents have put and invested their entire heart, everything. So to fulfill the will of heaven, to fulfill the will of God. So Father said there are two types of will, one for the individual and for the whole. So if no one is capable in handling God's will for the individual and for the whole, then God's will cannot be realized. So the person is very important. So Father said, even if the time has come for God's will to be completed, if the responsible person fails to fulfill his or her responsibility, the opportunity given to realize God's will be lost. So the realization of God's will absolutely requires the appropriate person. That's why true parents, they were really the chosen ones. They are the only begotten son and the only begotten daughter. So the right person is very important who will going to fulfill the will. And then after that, also the time period. And then the condition to accomplish the will is absolutely necessary. That's why these three things, this is very, very important in fulfilling God's will. But first thing is the right person, the appropriate person. So true parents, they're the right person. And then true parents really fulfilled their responsibility in due time, right? And with all the necessary conditions. So true parents became victorious. Aju, that's why now we are actually called. Our ancestors prepared well for us to come, to be chosen by Heavenly Parent, to be called by Heavenly Parent this time. So we are all chosen people, right? We are all chosen people. And then this is now the right time, but really we need to fulfill the necessary conditions in order for us also to become victorious like our true parents. Aju, That's why it doesn't depend to anybody. It depends on us. Already we have to accept that we are chosen people, right? We are chosen people. That's why we are here. So that's why this is now our responsibility. How can we fulfill this God-given mission to all of us? So we are now in the right time to fulfill God's will, but it depends on us, right? How we fulfill our responsibility in this given time and with all the necessary conditions needed. Aju? That's why Father is asking, will our movement, will the Unification Church, the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, will going to accomplish God's will? Who will going to answer that? It is us. It's not God, right? It is us. So no matter what, we have to fulfill this will of heaven. Our movement, the Heavenly Parents Holy Community now, have to complete everything together with our beloved True Mother now, who is leading the providence on earth, and with our beloved True Father in the spiritual world. There will be no more group or organization that will come, right? It is only now our movement, our Heavenly Parents Holy Community, that will lead all the people to fulfill heaven's will, right? Aju, so bringing all together our brothers and sisters, all humanity, to be able to become one with our Heavenly Parent and truly realize Kingdom of Heaven here on earth. Can you imagine how historical task we are doing now? This what was given to us. History will be changed, right? Now we are studying different history. Time will come, the history that people will going to study is the history centering on true parents. Aju, this will be all the generations to come. Continuously. For eternity, they will going to study this time with true parents and with all the people who have lived in the time of our true parents. This will surely come. This will going to happen very soon, right? That's why we are the ones making new history. How fortunate we are that we could live in this time. And then we were given this opportunity to be part of the people that is making or changing history. We are not only people who have lived in this time, but we are part, right? We are the ones working together with true parents. Can you imagine? Right? For example, when you see a very good house, when you just look at this house, you can appreciate. But if you are part of the group who made that very beautiful house, it's different, right? It's different. The feeling is different. So the same is true. What we are doing now, we are not only onlookers, but we are taking part. We are participating in this most precious opportunity that, even Father mentioned that even the saints and sages in the spiritual world, we want to come back in this time and work together with true parents. Can you imagine if they are only given the opportunity? We want to come back on earth and work together with true parents. Aju, this is the position we are in now. That's why we have to really realize and understand fully, understand deeply how precious this time is, how precious this opportunity that was given to us. That's why no matter what, we need all to become victorious. Aju? Father said Jesus had to invest his entire heart and soul. What did Jesus Christ have to do to carry out his specific responsibility, the salvation of humankind? Jesus, even he, had to invest his entire heart and soul. Whether awake or asleep, Jesus had to invest his whole heart and everything he had in his mission. This could not be accomplished by his being ordered or coerced. He had to do it of his own volition. Only when he achieved this did hope blossom. The conditions for happiness arise, and eventually the determination of his victory or defeat appear. So, can you imagine, even though, Jesus was chosen, he's the Messiah, he came as a Messiah, but the accomplishment of his will depends on his investment, depends on his effort, his work. It's not just, immediately they were chosen like true parents, they were chosen, automatically they will fulfill the will. They will going to accomplish the responsibility. That's why, thinking about this, we cannot imagine the course the true parents have gone through. Kaya nga pag pinag-aralan po natin yung life story ni True Father and ni True Mother through their autobiography, we cannot imagine the course the true parents have gone through. how much they have invested their entire life. Kaya nga si Father, bakit siya natutulog lang ng 2 hours a day? It's not because he just wanted to sleep just 2 hours a day, but because of the gigantic task that true parents have to accomplish. Right? And then their effort and their investment, how huge they need to invest. They have to invest their entire life, their whole heart and soul, as Jesus have done. So true parents have invested more than the effort of our elder brother Jesus Christ, right? So true parents, we cannot imagine their sacrifices. That's why true parents have gone through 7 deaths, and resurrection. We've learned about the course of true parents. So even true parents, they didn't physically die, but they have gone through, also, literally, also like death they have gone through. Even Father, we learned that Father was thrown out, that almost dead already, Father, physically, but because of their heart, and determination, never giving up, even at the verge of death. That's why Heavenly Parent has no other way but to really support true parents fully, right? True parents never utter any word of complaint or, always thinking of comforting Heavenly Parents' heart. They have invested everything. That's why true parents became our victorious true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Aju, because of their effort, life and death, they have given everything. They have sacrificed everything. So tayo rin, so what kind of effort we need to give also in order for us to become victorious? That's why we cannot just live simple life as chosen people, right? We cannot just live simple life, comfortable life. We have to continue to sacrifice even until this time, until God's will be completed. We cannot relax in our life as Blessed families, as Chonbo families. We cannot relax. True mother cannot relax at her age of 79, right? True mother is turning 78, right? True mother cannot relax. The same is true with us during this time. Ibig sabihin, as how true parents have invested. Of course, not the same, but it's still our whole heart, our entire, heart and soul should be put in our mission, in our responsibility. This is the only way for us to become victorious. Aju, there's no other way until God's will be completed. We have to really live such a life. Aju? Father said, we need to erect a protective hedge around us. So we need to erect a protective hedge around us, fortified by our children and our spiritual children. We should grow this hedge to serve as a protective buffer within which to share and discuss any secret freely. Even at the risk of our lives, we cannot sell ourselves to Satan's world. Therefore, we have to set up a sphere of absolute safety from which God's will can expand. You need to understand this very well because you are the experts who will be responsible to carry out and fulfill this mission. That's why Father said we need to make like a barricade to protect ourselves, and then with our children, our spiritual children, and then we need to grow this hedge, this barrier to protect us, and then within that Satan cannot attack. And then Father said we can share and discuss secret freely. So therefore we have to set up a sphere of absolute safety from which God's will can expand. That's why we have to secure, that Satan cannot enter. Yesterday we are learning that kahit na may small crack, sabi ni Father, you shouldn't have any, even light or water will come in for Satan to, kaya nga we have to protect ourselves, our family, our tribe. And then based on that, we expand God's will, right? We shouldn't allow Satan, sabi ni Father, to come in. So you need to understand this very well because you are the experts who will be responsible to carry out and fulfill this mission. Kaya nga, very important, we shouldn't make any condition for Satan to come in. Kaya nga, this time we have to really evaluate yung buhay natin. What are we doing? Small things, big things always begins from small things. Minsan, binabaliwala natin yung maliliit na bagay. pinofokusan lang natin mga malalaking bagay. But, everything begins from small things. Sabi nga, sa Milo, big things starts from small beginnings. Kaya, we have to be very careful to avoid conditions for Satan to come in. The relationship of husband and wife, parents and children, brothers and sisters, all these things you have to protect, right? In the individual, family, tribal level, so that Satan will not come, right? So through this, we need to continue to expand. And through this protective shield, sabi ni Father, then we can continue to expand. So sabi ni Father, we have to understand this very well. Aju, so that we can really fulfill and carry out our mission. Kasi when Satan comes in, then, kaya nga, sometimes many problems sa buhay natin, in the family level, in the tribal level, even in the individual level. If we continue to do conditions where Satan can come in, that's why our life is very difficult. Kaya nga po, minsan if we have, a lot of difficulties sa buhay, it's not because of any person. Minsan we because of this person, because of that person, sometimes we always point, finger to other people. Parang sila ang may kasalanan. Minsan kung anong buhay natin ngayon, dahil sa kanya, dahil sa kanila, it's not because of anybody else. It's because of you. It's because of us alone. Right? What kind of life we have now, it's all because of us. So we cannot blame anybody. It's because of us, because of the conditions we are doing. Right? So we couldn't protect ourselves, our family. That's why we have to evaluate. We have to check. What am I doing now? Am I doing the right thing? Am I really doing what God wanted me to do? Sometimes our mind is always thinking na ito yung tama, ito yung tama. But we don't know. Is that really what God wants you to do? Is that really what God wants you to fulfill and accomplish? Is that in that way God wants you to do it? So you have to check. We have to check. And then it can be seen what kind of family we have now. What situation we have now. What is our condition now? So if not good, then we have to reflect. We have to think about. We have to pray. We have to report to our able figure. Right? We have to share so that we can correct things. Aju? And then we can overcome. We can, start to make, shield and protect our own families, our tribe, and eventually expand to accomplish heaven's will. Aju? That's why this is very important, how to protect ourselves, our family. We shouldn't allow Satan, sabi ni Father, even not water, not air, not even light should come in. We shouldn't have any, even very, very small na opening. This kind of situation, especially us, our Blessed Central families, right? So True Parents is teaching us everything to be able to become victorious. Father said, however difficult the circumstances may be, our heart must never falter or change. The one who strives for victory will not encounter a supportive environment. Rather, he or she will face an environment of adversity. In this circumstance, you have to be able to handle the hostile environment with a steady and reliable heart. This heart is linked to sweat and tears that have come down to us through history. Therefore, however difficult the circumstances may be, our heart must never falter or change. So sabi ni Father, the one who strives for victory will not encounter a supportive environment. Rather, he or she will face an environment of adversity. Kaya nga po, we cannot expect easy life in this course that we are going through. Sabi ni Father, a person who is striving to fulfill or achieve victory will not encounter a supportive environment. We cannot, palagi may opposition, ganyan, laging may persecution, may rejection. An environment, we will face an environment of adversity, an environment of trials, of difficulties, of hardships. This is the environment that we're going to face. Kaya sabi natin, going to the kingdom of heaven, the road is very, very maliit yung daan, very rough, very difficult road. That's why many people doesn't want to go there. Ibig sabihin, going to this course, it's not easy. It's like going, parang we are like going to the, like for example, in the river with a strong the water is flowing, and then it's like you are opposing the flow of the water. So it's not easy. Ibig sabihin, hindi talaga madali yung course natin. We have to accept that first and foremost. Right? We have to accept that course. Our course that we are going. So most importantly, sabi ni Father, however difficult the circumstances may be, our heart must not falter, must never change. Some people came to our movement, they just tried. I will try if I will be okay here. Is it life here is comfortable or not? So these people who came with wrong motivation, they left. Right? They couldn't stay until the end. Right? That's why most important is having an unchanging heart. Laging sinasabi ni true parents sa atin. Right? We have to be strong. We have to be unchanging. Despite the challenges and difficulties we are facing. Aju? That's why really, this is now the time for us to really think about and really reflect, open our mind, our heart. Sometimes, not only our understanding with the principle, sometimes our understanding with the principle is, really different. Only, minsan, medyo centering on ourselves, minsan. That's why we have to really, check very well. Ngayong time na to, our life of faith, very important to evaluate on our own, not other people, right? Depends on our situation of life ngayon. Then we can see clearly if there is something we need to correct, if there's something we need to improve in our life. Aju, how we are living our life every day, right? Most important, our relationship with people, our spouse, our children, our able figure, our brothers and sisters. So these things we can see. We can evaluate, I need to check this. I need to change this. I need to improve this. And then, if you do this, like self-check, and you can advance forward, things will become, will move more smoothly. And then, we can truly accomplish our responsibilities, especially po ngayong time na to, that everything is given to us with all the foundations of true parents. It's really now just up to us. Aju, after you liberated your ancestors, ibig sabihin, pag ang life mo is challenging pa rin, you have to really think deeply, sa atin na lang yon. But kaya nga, una, you have to liberate your ancestors. Kasi hanggat hindi natin niliberate ang ancestors natin, the situation of our life depends on them, on their situation. But until you liberate them, kaya pag na-liberate mo na sila, still life is difficult, still life is challenging, still many things that, happening, it's already depends on us. Kaya una, we have to liberate yung ancestors talaga natin. Kaya ngayon may ancestors liberation. Those who have applied. Kaya nga sabi ni Father, without liberating your ancestors, you cannot live well, even how much you try. Kahit anong gawin natin, we can never live well until we liberated our ancestors. And then mga spirits na nasa body natin. That's why through Chanyang Yoksa session, we liberate our spirits that controlling us, that is influencing us, spirits sa body natin. So these are important things. These are important factors. But if we are doing this, we liberated our ancestors, still life is challenging and difficult, we have to really think deeply, we have to reflect. Evaluate ourselves. What am I doing? How am I living my life? What kind of life of faith I have? So this is now the time, as we are now moving forward to the substantial realization of Channeling Book, this is now the time. True Mother is telling us to go back to the early days of our church. So ito yung time na yon. We have to do it well, right? So, Father said, we need absolute victory. We need absolute victory gained with confidence. So, we have to advance with this conviction. No one can take away this heart burning with the desire to win. So, a victory without confidence is an accidental victory. We don't need that kind of victory. We need absolute victory gained with confidence. Such victory is not only a historical victory, but is also the victory of the ideal of creation. You need to have a victorious heart, burning with conviction. If you do not overcome ordeals, you cannot wear the crown of victory. So, sabi ni Father, what kind of victory we need? So, a victory without confidence is an accidental victory. Yung parang nangyari lang, na you didn't, do something, you are not even confident. Sabi ni Father, so that victory without confidence is an accidental victory. We don't need that kind of victory. Such victory is not only a historical victory, but it is the victory of the ideal of creation. What we need, sabi ni Father, we need absolute victory gained with confidence. So you need to have a victorious heart, burning with conviction. If you do not overcome ordeals, you cannot wear the crown of victory. So most important is what kind of, determination we have. Unang-una po, nag-start yan sa ating mind, sa ating heart. So we need to have victorious heart, sabi ni Father. So meaning, once you accomplish something, you can really feel that you accomplish it. You have done, your responsibility. Burning with conviction, sabi ni Father, so if you do not overcome ordeals, you cannot wear the crown of victory. Ibig sabihin, you have overcome many things before you could reach this victory. Then that's the only condition you can wear, Father said, the crown of victory. So Father said, just as I have achieved victory, you also can achieve victory. So since we know that the principle is irrefutable truth, once we learn it, we cannot refuse to follow it or to carry it out. Each of us has to walk this path. We cannot be failures. We have to be victors. Until now, I have fought alone. However, just as I have achieved victory, you can also achieve victory. As long as I am here, you need not worry. Go forward, fight to the end, and victory will be yours. I am certain of this. Know this, be confident, and charge forward with passion. Kaya nga po, we shouldn't just think about, I will do this not on our own. Heavenly Parent and true parents. Father said, as long as I am here. So Father is always with us still. Father is actually working very hard in the spiritual world. True Mother is with us on earth. Even though true Father left us physically, but true parents, true Father is always with us. The more true Father is helping us. Kaya nga sabi ni Father, just as I have achieved victory, you also can achieve victory. True Mother is telling us no one should be left behind. Everyone should be victorious. Adyo, no one should be left behind. Kaya nga po, please be confident. All our blessed families, all brothers and sisters, please be confident. Heavenly Parents is with us. True Parents is with us. No matter how challenging our situations now, do not worry, sabi ni Father. As long as I am here, you will be victorious. Right? But we cannot just also rely lang kay God sa kay true parents palagi. Meaning, we have to also do our responsibility. And then naturally, Heavenly Parents, true parents, the entire spiritual world will work with us, will support us. Adju? So Father said, know this, be confident, and charge forward with passion. That's why very important, our burning heart to accomplish our responsibility. Kapag wala po tayo nito, and then umaasa lang tayo kung ano mangyari, never it will happen. Even how much God wants to help you, even how much true parents wants to help you, even how much the spiritual world wants to help you, if you're not doing your part, if you're not doing your responsibility, nothing can be done. Even we liberated our ancestors, 430 generations, after we liberate them, after we bless them, after 40 days they come down, they're actually here with us. But if we are not doing anything, they themselves cannot do anything. Aju? That's why everything depends on us. We need to have this desire, most importantly, desire to accomplish our responsibility. Yan po yung pinakauna sa lahat. Pero kapag dahil sa wala tayong mga kung ano-ano, wala tayong resources, wala tayong manpower, pero actually, ang unang wala sa ating desire. That is the most important. We need to have the burning desires of any Father. If we have this, based on that, all doors will open up for you. Heavenly Parent, true parents, is always with us. The spiritual world, our ancestors is always with us. But pinakauna po sa lahat, our desire, our motivation, our drive to accomplish our responsibility. How much we are dreaming, I know many of our blessed families, how much they are, dreaming to become chonbo. They're doing their best, even though not easy. They're investing everything, their heart, every time I listen from their testimonies also, reflections, how much, their heart, their desire. Yan po yung pinaka-importante sa lahat na meron tayo. Pero dahil sa situation natin, wala tayong resources, wala tayong manpower, many things. Pero actually, ang wala sa ating desire. So, we have to have a burning heart. Sabi ni Father, And then, with this kind of heart, Heavenly Parent can work. Aju, if you really believe, kaya nga ito talaga yung time, even as people of faith will be challenged. Faithful ba talaga tayo? Do we really believe in God? If we really believe that God is alive, the true parents is always with us, the spiritual world is always with us, and it is true. The principle is true, right? Then we will always going to have this kind of desire. So that's why Father said, since we know that the principle is irrefutable truth, once we learn it, we cannot refuse to follow it or to carry it out. Kaya nga, nakadepende talaga sa understanding din talaga natin. How much we really understand the principle. Kapag yan talaga yan, truth is truth for us, then we don't have anything but just to follow the principle and then carry out everything. And then we will not going to lose, sometimes nakikita natin, walang drive, walang our members, some blessed families. That's why po, most important is our desire, the drive. We need to have a burning heart, sabi ni Father. And then through this, with the support of Heavenly Parent, with true parents, the entire spiritual world, we can be victorious. Aju? Kaya nga po ngayon, very clear na kasi yung kailangan natin gawin. Dati when we talk about 5%, about portion responsibility, ano ba talaga yon? Ngayon po, very clear. We have to be victorious, 70 tribal messiahs. We have to become victorious Chonbo, right? And then we have to complete everything through this path that we are doing, right? We have to really perfect 3 great blessings, the 4 great realms of heart. So only through this course, Aju, that everything begins from our desire, our burning heart, sabi ni Father. And then everything will be accomplished. We will be victorious like our true parents. Kaya nga sina true parents, whenever true parents, speak, especially si Father din before, you can see the passion when Father speaks. Right? Cannot control actually that in heart. You cannot just, why Father said, why he speak very fast. When Father is speaking, cannot control that kind of passion. Want to accomplish something in short possible time. That's why our passion very important. And then based on that, we can break through any situation. We can be victorious like our true parents. Aju, so this is the wish of our Heavenly Parent and true parents to all of us, the central families, brothers and sisters, to be victorious like our true parents. Aju, so with this understanding this time, let's march forward with greater determination, with really burning heart, and with this great passion to be victorious as our true parents. Aju, so please know that your ancestors, the entire spiritual world, Heavenly Parents and true parents is always with us. We just need to move and carry things out, and then we will be victorious. Aju? Aju. So with this, let's really offer our gratitude to our Heavenly Parents and true parents once again. Thank you very much once again, all brothers and sisters. Please always stay safe and healthy, and may Heavenly Parents have and blessings be always upon you. Let's have a victorious Chonbo event today. And also, I would like to take this time to remind you, through this event that we're going to have, the PCLC President Hori reminded us, we will be giving Hyojong offering. So I discussed with your regional leaders yesterday. So we will be meeting all members per region. So we need to prepare now to give our Hyojong offering. This is not only for the event of PCLC, but also this will be offering to True Mother. So we will be offering donation. So this is now great opportunity. First time that our regional president asking us to donate and offer to true parents. So I would like all members or the central families, no one should be left behind. So everybody needs to contribute, need to give their Hyojong offering. This is our heart of filial piety, offering to True Mother. That's why later your regional leaders will going to meet you and then discuss our offering, our donation for True Mother, not only for PCLC. That's why if you can, give and offer, this is first time that we will be offering to True Mother. That's why no one should be left behind. Everyone should be on board, right? So how much you can offer and donate to True Mother. So this will be a great blessing for our family, for our descendants. So let's really do our best. Aju, so let's bring victory for PCLC and all our activities, and also today through the HJ Chonbo event. So thank you very much once again. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you so much, our Reverend Leo Angelo Halog, for delivering us another wonderful and very important guidance today. Let's give him a big round of applause. This guidance tells us to always be responsible with our own portions and portions of responsibility, and with the fact that we are working with with our true parents through this time is already a very big opportunity for us to work harder along with them. Use this precious time not only living a simple life, but a life centered on our heavenly parent and true parents. We should be the part and create the history, even how difficult and challenging the part may seem. As filial sons and daughters of God, we should always have the burning heart and to follow and go to the right direction. If we have the right determination, and overflowing good desire, all challenges and hardships will be less scarier than it seems, and we won't be afraid of going through that because we know that we trust and we are with our Heavenly Parent and true parents with every step of our journey. Once again, thank you so much to our national leader for giving us another wonderful guidance this morning. Moving on to our reflections, before I call on the assigned brothers and sisters, is there anyone here on Zoom who would like to volunteer to share his or her reflections? Anyone po? Okay, so I think there's no one. So let's now move on for our first reflection. Please help me to welcome my fellow second generation here in Palawan, Miss Miriam Tagyab. Let's welcome her with a virtual clap.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. So, first of all, I am very thankful for being able to attend this morning devotion and the spiritual guidance today. Thank you, Kuya LA. And it was really motivating, and it lit a fire into our hearts because the message. So I am going to begin my reflection. First of all, Kalin. First of all, it it's very embedded in me that Father said that we need to understand well because we are responsible to carry out and fulfill the mission. So what we need to understand well, based on the spiritual guidance, is that we need to have a sphere of protection by doing daily conditions. And because we are the ones who are responsible, we need absolute safety for God's will to so that we can fulfill God's will. We need that safety too, so that Satan will not be able to invade and break our hearts, break our determination. We need daily conditions, readings, that because the path to victory is, True Father said the path to victory is, it will never be easy and there will be always adversities in our way. But that will not adhere us to being victorious, because when we understand all the past histories, how long it took for us to have this time, this opportunity to fulfill God's will. So we need to understand, it was truly opening that we are giving this opportunity, and that the time and all the dedication through Father also made the preparations, the conditions, dedicating his heart and soul just for us to have this silver of hope and happiness that we are enjoying today. So our mission to also fulfill being Chonbos and spread happiness to the world and becoming victorious in our missions, we need to fulfill this, and that the portion of responsibility each of us holds should always be in our mind when we go on our daily lives. True Father said that if we have a burning heart for victory, we don't need to worry because we just need to march forward and fight, and victory will certainly be ours. So thank you for today's very motivational spiritual guidance, and let us follow what we have always been doing, and also in our hearts always think that we need to be confident and that this mission will surely succeed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Miriam, for sharing us your very artistic and sincere reflection. This time is really a very precious time to each and every one of us. So we should really, have a great determination, and we should always ready ourselves with the long fight that we'll be taking in front of us. So yes, let's give her a big round of applause. Next, to hear another wonderful reflection, let me call on our hardworking provincial leader here in Palawan, Pastor Joel Concepcion. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you so much, our sister Julissa. Julissa. So before that, I would like to greet first our beloved guardian troop parents. Good morning, and to our national leader, and to all brothers and sisters. So good morning. So I will give also my short reflection. Anyway, sometimes in our point of view, as we always say, in man's point of view, we are not qualified. But in God's point of view, He chose us to be qualified, right? So, and after that, of course, if He chose us, and then we need to undergo through education until we deepen our understanding about God's providence. And then, of course, we are becoming part of His providence, God's providence. So, if we already understand what is God's providence, and then for us as a member of the family, we will receive the blessing. So, if we receive the blessing, and then what's next? Sometimes we receive the blessing sometimes for the self purpose, sometimes for the whole purpose. Anyway, we have that kind of understanding. We are different of understanding actually. So that's why receiving the blessing is, there's a two concept for the selfish purpose and for the whole purpose. So anyway, for me, when we receive the blessing as husband and wife, my understanding is this is a commitment not only to my spouse, to my wife, not only to my wife, but centering on God. We commit as husband and wife to God. This is my understanding. It is centered on God. So that's why if we commit ourselves to God and to parents to fulfill God's will or God's plan. So I think this is very important. We need to understand what is the meaning of the blessing that we receive. So for me, that's why my part is, of course, I need to fulfill my portion of responsibility. So as a bliss couple, right? we need to fulfill our portion of responsibility in accordance with our gender role. I need to fulfill my portion of responsibility, and my wife need to fulfill her portion of responsibility also. So in that, if we work together as husband and wife, I think, and this is for the whole purpose, I think we will become victors to our mission centering on God and true parents. I think that's all my short reflection. Thank you very much, and good morning to all.
Thank you very much, Pastor Joel. That is indeed a very wonderful reflection po. Let's give him a big round of applause. Before we move on to our closing prayer, let us first listen to our news and announcements.
Good morning to all our leaders, brothers and sisters. Here are the news and announcements. Today, September 11 at 11 a.m. is the opening session of the 8th Asia-Pacific Leadership Conference. Please be reminded that your invited VIPs can be officially enrolled after participating in the opening session, so make sure they attend. For the Zoom link and ID, please contact Ms. Chosun Gai. This afternoon at 1:30 p.m. is the 11th Yeojong Chonbo Asia Pacific event. We encourage all members to join and participate in the Chanyang Nyoksa session. As you may all know, members can now participate at home. This is a special grace given to us by our true parents only in this time of pandemic. Tomorrow, September 12 at 8:30 a.m. is the Rally of Hope Think Tank 2022, hosted by the Universal Peace Federation International. This Rally of Hope will initiate the vital work of Think Tank 2022, a global network of 2022 experts from various sectors who are combining their wisdom, expertise, and concern in pursuit of peaceful unification of Korea. It will be shown live on television at PTV Channel 4 and live stream on PeaceLink TV, PTV4 Facebook page, and UPF Philippines page. We encourage all members to watch, and please invite your colleagues, family, and friends to watch as well. The 7-day series Divine Principle Seminar Batch 4 will start today at 4:30 p.m. For queries, please contact Ms. Marvic Advincola. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hope everyone was informed about our upcoming events, was able to mark their calendars, and as well as other important informations. Let's now proceed on our closing. May I call on our ever youthful and hardworking PFT Director here in Palawan, as well as my mother, Ms. Yuki Carias, to offer us the closing prayer.
Good morning. Please join me in my prayer. 사랑하는 하늘 부모님, 정지인 참 부모님, 진심으로 감사합니다. Thank you very much for guiding us through this morning devotion that was given by national leader. I felt that Heavenly Parents gives love to each one of us and to lead to the God's bosom. This morning, national leader gives us to many passionate words talking about true parents, Heavenly Parents, and true parents. Heavenly Parents send begotten son and begotten daughter And finally, true parents became victorious people, a person. How long waiting this era, this time, especially after Foundation Day, this Chonghilguk era, this is very important era, golden era. We need to stand, each one of us. And today, we realize many things because we don't have confidence, we don't have passion, we don't have enough understanding divine principle. Of course, we don't have passion, energetic heart. So it's really important we understand Father's word well, and more deeper we understand God's heart. So we can comfort to Heavenly Parents' heart and true parents' heart together with we can understand. So today's word really reminding us, and we have to unite also. This time we have to unite with true mother and fulfill God's wish to unify Heavenly Korea and as well as whole world. Thank you very much for everything, and we'll work hard to return joy and happiness with the heart of Hyojeon. Thank you very much again. I report in our name, Meresho Jr. and Yuki Karia's Central Blessed Family. Aju.
Aju, thank you so much, and let us now have our unison prayer. Aju. Thank you so much. And this will be the end of our morning devotion. Thank you so much to all of our brothers and sisters who are present, and may you have an amazing, meaningful, and productive Saturday. Thank you so much, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Morning, National Leader. Thank
Good
you.
morning, National Leader. Morning, Yalog.
Brothers and sisters.
Morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning po. NLTP family, good morning.
Very much. Everyone.
Morning.
Kamsahamnida.
Morning, brothers